Folks, it's February 10th, 2023. This is a part of the Premier Pro Wrestling series, Black Wrestlers You Should Know, and it's in recognition of Black History Month. Today, we're going to talk about another guy, or I'm going to talk about another guy that I'm connected to, and that is Sweet Brown Sugar, Skip Young. Let's start out with my personal connection. So I went to Dallas, Texas. Oh man, I'm not good with dates, so I can't tell you. I went to Dallas, Texas, World Class Championship Wrestling. And the original plan was for myself and Bill Dundee to be the top babyface tag team and feud with the Rock and Roll RPMs. Then some politics happened. During said politics, Bill Dundee wasn't a part of it. He wasn't there. So they had me down there, and I refused to leave, basically. And what they were doing was they were tagging me with different partners every week to work with Mike and work with Mike Davis and Kevin Dillinger, the Rock and Roll RPMs. And then they would pin the partner. And the storyline was that, it was just me sticking with them until I found the right partner. The right partner was supposed to be Bill Dundee when they'd hammered out the legal stuff. But anyway, it was a great opportunity for me to become and learn how to become a baby face. And believe it or not, I was actually drawing fans at the end when there wasn't much to really draw from. I don't know. In a sense, I say yes, part of it was me getting over, but most of it was, number one, the hard work of Mike Davis, Percival Pringle, and Kevin Dillinger, the team that I was working with. And another part of it was the fact that I was a new, fresh face down there at the time. But anyway, so Skip Young was in the Dallas area. I knew that he was there was a personal relationship between him and the Von Erich family, and he was coming in, and that was the plan at the time, finally, was to put me and Skip Young together. And I thought, what a great position I'm in as a young performer to be working with the likes of Skip Young, Sweet Brown Sugar, Mike Davis, and Kevin Dillinger. I mean, seriously, when you think about it, what a golden opportunity to really learn how to be a baby face. So I'm going to do something now in regards to Skip Young that I haven't been doing, and this is some really cool stuff, what other wrestlers said about Skip Young when Skip passed in 2010. And this is Johnny Mantell. He calls Skip Young a good hand in the ring, probably one of the highest jumpers I've ever seen in the business. He could drop kick Andre or he could drop kick Rey Mysterio, either one, and he'd be in a hurry getting there to drop kick you. Jim Ross. Now, Jim, as everybody knows, doesn't pull punches. Yeah, Jim has his favorites, but in the same token, said favorites are accomplished fucking wrestlers, but Jim tells it like it is. Here's what Jim says about Skip Young. He was a very athletic guy who had personal connections with the Von Erich family and possessed one of the best drop kicks that I've ever saw. Now think about that for a second. That's Jim Ross. This I like a lot too. You got to hear this one. Killer Tim Brooks worked with Young in Texas and in Georgia. He was a really, really and truly good baby face. I could go with Skip Young on any card with any baby face and have just as good a match as anybody on the card, he said. I'll tell you, I was happy anytime I saw Skip Young and my name with a cross between it. I was happy because I knew that if I didn't have the best match of the night, I would probably have next to the best. He was a tremendous babyface, and he really, really knew how to work. Now, Skip was born July 24th, 1951. He was wrestling in the mid-70s, and I think that he broke in Florida, which is another thing. I mean, anybody that broke in with that Florida territory was a tough guy because they would make you earn it, Here's something I want to see here. Tony Atlas, who was a championship tag team partner of Skip Young's in World Class Championship Wrestling, said that this is the part that's fucking cool, guys. And now that I think about it, at the time it didn't occur to me, but yes. he refused to play a stereotype. Skip was fairly educated because he was well-spoken, said Atlas, explaining that the likes of Ole Anderson wanted him to be more racial in his interviews and his mannerisms. He didn't sound black when he talked. Today, it would have been great because Vince would have loved it. But back then, you had to be a certain character to fit. And that's true. Again, that's the stuff with the racial undertones as far as, wrestling goes or wrestling went. They wanted him to be a token. Every card had to be a token. They were in such a hurry to find some hook to, draw the black fan. And Skip Young, he just transcended that. Now, I remember being down there, and they slow build. It's not like today where you guys hot shot stuff or even WWE hot shot stuff. It was a slow build, and it started with me, and I was seconding Skip in something where the finish was there was a boxing gloves involved. I think it might have been a gimmick boxing match, and the finish came when the heel soaked his glove during the rounds in a bucket of water. That's supposed to harden up the glove. You know what I mean. But the bottom line is that I was in a great position, a great spot in Dallas, Texas at the time to even share a locker room with this guy. And I remember this guy just being really welcoming as far as old-timers go. There was always something to the fact that I came from up north when I was in the South. I ended up in the South and in Dallas and in the Memphis territory at the time because it was the last place to do this shit every night. It was the last place to learn. There was nothing going on up here, So the fact that I could walk into that locker room and be around the likes of Mike Davis, John Tatum, Skip Young. The other thing I want to say is that's around the time that Steve Austin broke in. Steve Austin was only training for 6 months when he was down there on that same crew, and that was basically the last real world-class championship wrestling crew. And he was around Skip, too. So you see how everybody, one way, shape, or form, was influenced by this guy, and we're also talking about some real names, I'm sure somewhere down the line in there he effed with Rocky Johnson. And that would be an amazing thing, too, because that would say that at the end of the day that Skip Young's thumbprint could possibly be on Dwayne Johnson. So, yeah, Skip was born in Houston, Texas, July 24th, 1951. He died December 3rd, 2010 at the age of 59. His ring names were Skip Young, Super Bad, and Sweet Brown Sugar. The Sweet Brown Sugar I never got to see, but I'll bet you it was something else because he was a masked black baby face, and supposedly the charisma was just off the chain. Even the old-timers like Mike Davis would say, brother, if they pair you with Skip Young, get ready to go to school, Sorry that it never happened. Okay, guys, again, I hope you're enjoying these things because I am, and I love remembering Skip. I can close my eyes and see him and I talking in my head in the Sportatorium. So I'm getting really enlightened by this shit remembering. There was a time when I broke in the business, and it was actually down in World Class, where Mike Davis said to me in regards to Bronco Lubitsch, who must have been in his 70s at the time as a referee, and he'd say, Bronco has forgotten more about wrestling than you or I will ever know. Well, I'm kind of getting to that point now because I forgot all this stuff, and while I'm talking to you guys, it kind of refreshes the memory. Okay, guys, again, black wrestlers, you should know. Please note that we're doing this without YouTube ads, so please support Premier Pro Wrestling. Please support PPW in the links below. Particularly, go ahead and stream over 500 matches on our streaming service, Patreon. Thanks for the love and support, and please like and subscribe while you're here.